Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, Zhilei Zhang, Flip Hergovic, those are, even Deontay Wilder. Those heavyweights have been making noise for a while. And with Deontay Wilder, there have been accusations of him having the titanium rods in his right hand because he broke his right hand. And he's been accused of having basically a weapon, his right hand. And that's why Deontay Wilder is able to knock people out the way that he has. Joseph Parker is also underneath the magnifying glass or microscope right now and being faced with a lot of scrutiny because people are trying to understand, especially me, how he's been able to turn his career around in a short period of time and get the kind of wins that he's been able to achieve. When it comes to Zhilei Zhang, I heard somebody talking about Zhilei Zhang and how he was having the complications with dehydration and his, I think his liver or kidney was going bad. Anyway, Zhilei Zhang could have died because he was severely dehydrated and not losing weight the right way. And somebody was suggesting that Zhilei Zhang may be doing something that's not authorized to have turned his weight loss methods down and his strength and conditioning approach. He's been doing things that weren't allowed. And then with Tyson Fury, it's no secret that with Tyson Fury that he's underneath the microscope because he goes back to him back in the day, 2015, 16, whatever year it was, testing positive for a banned substance. And even now when you watch Tyson Fury, it kind of makes you wonder, just how he was able to do what he's been able to do since returning to the sport of boxing. Okay, then you get Anthony Joshua. There's not much to say about Flip Hergovic, right? Because I don't think there's any reason to believe there's foul play. But when it comes to Anthony Joshua, a lot of people keep saying that Anthony Joshua may be on steroids. All kind of accusations. When you look at this picture, let me move my big head out the way for you, right? Okay. When you look at this picture of him on the left with the red tank top, and then you look at him on the right, that is night and day. Night and day. But if you are naturally a slim person and you have good genetics and you decide that you want to eat right, feed your muscles the thing that the body needs in order for those muscles to grow, and you really start with the proper workout regimen, taking the right supplements, getting the right rest, you can build your body up. And that's why I'm saying Anthony Joshua, he was just creating a champion. Taking his creatine, taking his protein powder, taking his multivitamin, doing everything that he was supposed to do. Remember, Anthony Joshua, man, when he turned pro, he had Eddie Hearn backing him. You better believe they knew just what to do to bulk him up. Had the right people working with him, very intelligent people. Okay? So as far as him being on steroids, I heard Gerald Miller accuse him of getting a prescription for steroids, and because it was prescribed by a doctor, they're allowed to take it. And although it's something that would normally be banned, it's authorized because it's prescribed by a doctor, kind of like Luis Ortiz and blood pressure medication. But I'll tell you this, right? Because I'm not really sold on just Anthony Joshua taking steroids. But what I'll say is, you just never know. right? But to me, normally if there's some smoke, there's fire, and then you get me to have a conversation. But with Anthony Joshua, I just don't see the smoke, so I can't make me believe there's a fire somewhere. But it goes back to Anthony Joshua. After just 5 years picking up a gold medal for Great Britain in the 2012 Olympics, then going on to defeat Klitschko, then ending up after he had picked up the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO titles, to go on and lose to the chubby, cuddly, quick-handed Andy Ruiz, right? But in the chubby, cuddly fight, there were some people then saying, okay, what the hell happened to Anthony Joshua? How could he lose to chubby, cuddly? And steroids has nothing to do with what happened in that fight, okay? Because Andy Ruiz is a monster. Anybody gets in close within striking distance of Andy Ruiz, and if he puts the Mexican-American beans on you, you're going down. Down, down, down. But see, people look at Anthony Joshua's incredibly muscular physique, and then they want to start accusing him. Steroids, or PEDs, him doing something foul to get to the top of the sport. How about his hard work and having the muscle of Matchroom behind you, DAZN behind you, Under Armour behind you, Lucozade behind you, Beats behind you, and many other endorsers. But when it comes to guys like Gerald Miller, even Joseph Parker said something, and Dillian White, they were calling Anthony Joshua the Lance Armstrong of boxing. And I listen when these guys say that. I just want to know if they're going to make a statement like that. Let there be some kind of proof. That's all I'm saying. Let there be. It has to be something to make us say, okay, we need to look at this. And that's why with Tyson Fury, people wonder, man, I'm a hood champion, you always giving Tyson Fury shit. That's because I really felt the kind of way about Tyson Fury when he returned to the sport of boxing. I was rooting for him. But then when I started hearing things about him, I wasn't buying into the stuff they were saying about Tyson Fury. Matter of fact, I was defending him. I have videos that I've done defending him, and there were, boxing fans who basically attacked me. Even some even saying, that I'm a sellout. You can't be no black man, which I'm not solely a black man, you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit more to me than just race, especially I'm of more than one race. So, I kind of do take offense to that statement, but then I kind of don't, because you're kind of right, but you're kind of wrong. But the thing is, I was hearing what people were saying about Tyson Fury, but there has to be something with some teeth in it for me to believe it, or at least say maybe it's a possibility. But it wasn't until all the shit came out. But change of trainers, the glove shit, finding out he had Usman Sajjad in his corner, and then you find out about Ken Holland and everything. That's when I said, okay, hold on. There's too much going on here with Tyson Fury. Maybe there's some truth there. And that's when you got me to really start talking about Tyson Fury. And you look at where we are now and the type of stuff that's happened with him. You can't make me believe there's not something crazy going on with Tyson Fury behind the scenes. But for Anthony Joshua, I don't have enough for me to come out here and to do videos on him the way I do on Tyson Fury. There's just not enough there. But he's never been found guilty of taking any steroids, any banned substance. Tyson Fury has. But when you look at him, he looks more like he's trimmed down some. From like the Klitschko fight, he's trimmed down considerably. But he still looks like a goddamn bodybuilder, more than a boxer. But I think it comes down to genetics. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Anthony Joshua's dad. His dad is a big guy. I think his dad like 6'5". And you can just see his build. He's a big, strong guy. I can only imagine how he looked aesthetically when he was a young man. But Anthony Joshua will tell the world, look, I take it as a compliment when, people accuse me of taking steroids. And there was a body language expert who kind of broke down Anthony Joshua addressing the fact that he says he doesn't use any steroids, and it's just a compliment because he just was born the way he is. And I'm gonna tell you, I had friends who were like that. Growing up, I had several friends, man. They just never worked out a day in their life. They're just muscular guys, man. Ripped, striations everywhere. And they got it from the one guy got it from his dad. These other brothers got it from their dad, and then my friend, his mom was like that. Like his mother was muscular, man, and he was like that. So it's just genetics. Other of us, we have to work at it. But what that body language expert said is that Joshua was very direct and to the point. And they said, that's a positive for AJ because you get a lot of guys who are normally lying, who will try to be clever with their words and say stuff like, I've never been found with anything and I never tested positive, because they said people who are guilty find it difficult to tell an outright lie. It goes on to say that alternatively, liars can use repetition, denying that they take anything 3 or 4 times in the same sentence. This is also a sign of deception because having to repeat yourself shows that you're trying to convince the person listening. And say with AJ, it was just boom. It's a compliment. I don't cheat. And he had nothing else to say. He was talking about other things. And they said that to them, if they're experienced, that shows them that he's being truthful. Now, AJ did address the issue head on. And basically told him, look, I don't take steroids. And he just says he's naturally gifted because of his pops, has a similar build. But when you start trying to look for further evidence, because just because his dad is in shape, his dad was in shape when he was younger, and his dad obviously is still in shape for his age, it's not 100% proof that AJ is all natural. So when you look at a lot of guys who are normally taking steroids, there are different things about the body that stands out. And for AJ, there's really nothing that stands out that would lead anyone to think that he's definitely on steroids. Sure, he's muscular, he's jacked, but it's more of a natural looking physique with no boulder shoulders or Cobra-like traps in sight, or this steroid stomach they call it. He's not that. He's not bloated. Nothing. Supervascular. These are all things that are associated with someone who's on steroids. But they do say that he's very big for a natural guy who's not on something or trying to train as a bodybuilder. But they do say his size is certainly possible, take into account his African genetics from both his father and mother. It even gets into race and says, black people have an average 21% more free testosterone than whites, making it easier for them to build muscle. Now, this is a fact I just gave you. And when it comes to AJ, he is near the limit of what is capable for a black man with great genetics who lifts weights. For example, it says, if you take a gigantic Mr. Olympia bodybuilder like Kai Green, when he was natural, he wasn't much bigger than AJ. Thus, with the blessed genetics, we now know AJ's size is possible, albeit very rare. And they actually have a picture of Kai Green, who is actually, let me show y'all. This is Kai Green right here. Now, if you know who Kai Green is, the bodybuilder, this is him. And he don't look anything like that now. But he's a monster. So, is Anthony Joshua on steroids? I don't think so. I just think it has everything to do with the right supplement strategy, working out, clean eating habits, a healthy lifestyle, and he's been able to focus on creating a champion. I don't think anybody needs to come out here and continue accusing him of this stuff. I mean, hell, when you look at him right here, this is him in the Olympics. Look at his arms, look at his build. Looks almost the same as he does right now. So I don't know, I don't know what people are tripping about. He's already in pretty good goddamn shape. Nothing too dramatic, just an in-shape guy. But if he would have gained 30 pounds in a month, then that's a whole other conversation. So he hasn't done that. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. It is crazy, man. But anyway, natural lifters who are genetically blessed, you'll find that all muscle groups are well balanced and similar size. And when it comes to AJ, and it comes to his hypertrophy, there's a huge gap. But his legs are, matter of fact, his legs are just as developed as his damn upper body. Like, that's just genetics, man. That's just genetics. It's just one of those things, man. He's just very lucky. Very lucky. But I'm glad they even talked about this and showed that Anthony Joshua, when he decided to cut weight, what his body actually looked like. Because when he fought Andrew Ruiz, he decided to drop some weight. Right? I think he dropped like 12, 15 pounds. But anyway, he had to lose some mass to become lighter. And some people felt that he was off the steroids. But I don't know. When you start lifting weights, you can gain up to 20 pounds. When you stop lifting weights, you can lose some muscle mass and some of your gains. But when you look at AJ right here, this is him as he decided to drop the 12 pounds. You can see there's definitely a little bit of a difference in that physique. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I'm trying to be fair to everyone who's saying he's not on steroids. People saying that he is on steroids. Remember, I'm a guy who used to lift a lot of weights too. I should, I don't like getting too personal, but I should put pictures of me up, and you'll see that. And I would never did no goddamn steroids. I was just in the gym working out. But you definitely see, especially when I was younger, man, a fucking monster. But if Joshua was taking steroids and he simply stopped cycling peds, he probably would drop 20, 25 pounds with the quickness. I haven't seen Anthony Joshua drop any considerable amount of weight, because when you take steroids, you gain about 50 pounds in weight when you're taking it consistently. Once you come off the roids, you retain roughly half of the weight and lose the rest. So I don't know, man. I don't think Anthony Joshua is on steroids. I just don't. What I will say is, if you're a person who's never done push-ups and you change your eating habits, and 5 times a week you do 10 sets of, I would say, 10 or 20 push-ups, right? You do that 5 times a week. At the end of the month, something physically will change on you. What I'm telling you is a fact. Okay? So Anthony Joshua, he made the right changes, got himself together, and hey, he pays for his VADA drug testing, and I think he pays for some of his opponents' drug testing as well. And VADA conducts random drug testing 8 weeks before a fight. Now, Nevada has a good track record of detecting cheats, but I'm going to tell you, Anthony Joshua's been one of the most tested men in the sports. Can't say that for other people. Anyway, Anthony Joshua simply worked on creating a champion, and he did. I don't think he's on steroids. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.